Hey guys, it's Elle's Extra Picks here, and I wanted to take this week to be able to dedicate a little bit more time to the Erin Blanchfield, Taila Santos fight. I know Dave and a lot of others were really surprised that I didn't talk about this fight on Betting Bananas, but I thought it deserved its own completely separate video. So let's get into it. I'm so excited about this fight. These are two of the absolute top prospects in the flyweight division. I think women's flyweight has grown so much recently. We kind of saw it as one of the less deep women's divisions for a while, and I think we're starting to see that change with fighters like Santos and Blanchfield moving up the rankings. Neither of them had super tough strength of schedules before Taila Santos' title fight against Valentina Shevchenko and also Erin Blanchfield's fight with Jessica Andrade. I know some people believe that the Andrade fight maybe doesn't look as good as it did at the time, considering Andrade has dropped 2 other fights since. However, I still think that this was a huge step up in competition for both of these ladies to fight prospectively Jessica Andrade and Valentina Shevchenko. And now it's even more interesting to see them fight each other, especially considering how many people believed that Taila Santos should have won the decision over Valentina Shevchenko and subsequently would be holding the belt at this point in time. So I want to get into this fight and kind of break down each fighter in this position. And then at the end, I will give you my pick. So I think that Santos, she has the length here. And if she can stay on the outside of Blanchfield and she can really move offline and land some better counter strikes here and land the more powerful strikes, she can do very well. Blanchfield on the other side needs to really work her lead hand, keep that high guard nice and tight, move her head a lot as she's starting to enter the pocket since Santos is a little bit longer than her. And she needs to not throw any naked leg kicks or anything like that here. I think it'll be easier for Santos to counter her if she starts doing that. Here, as she enters the pocket, I think shooting to that lead leg or shooting off of Santos's jab is going to be really, really beneficial for Erin Blanchfield here. Blanchfield tends to pressure very hard, and I expect her to do that in this fight as well. That's her style. She doesn't deviate from that, which I love about Blanchfield. I think we see often fighters will change up their style just because they're fighting so-and-so. But when you see somebody like Erin Blanchfield, who always has the same game plan, and everybody knows what her game plan is, they always know what she's trying to do to them, and it's still effective, that is so, so impressive. It is very Khabib-esque to me to see somebody go out and execute the exact same game plan consistently over several different styles of fighters and different levels of fighters. I do believe here that Santos is the best grappler that Blanchfield has fought so far. She's never fought somebody with as high-level grappling as her own, and I do think she needs to be careful engaging in these grappling exchanges. Something I love about Erin Blanchfield is she doesn't take bad shots. She takes a really awesome, strong double. She keeps her head upright. She doesn't get bent over. She's not typically at risk for guillotines because of how well she shoots, and she does such a good job keeping her back straight, coming up to take the back if she needs to, and doesn't get that shot on the legs. But she shoots to the legs so well here. I think she'll be able to get Santos to the mat, but she needs to be careful in these exchanges. She needs to, if she does take a bad shot or get a fight or get a shot stuffed in this fight, she needs to be very careful to not end up on bottom against Santos, because Santos is big, she's physical, she's strong, and she has very good grappling, as we saw her on the back of Valentina Shevchenko. So I do believe that Blanchfield needs to be very, very calculated in these grappling exchanges against Santos and make sure she stays on top in all of those exchanges. I will say that in the Shevchenko fight, we saw Taila Santos have incredible control, but not much ground and pound. Something I think that Blanchfield does very, very well is she does do a lot of damage when she's on the mat. She sets up her submissions beautifully, obviously, but she also does a lot of damage, which is one of the reasons I think her submissions come so easily to her, is because she does the damage to open up these entries to be able to land these absolutely beautiful submissions. Now, I will say, as we go back through each girl's UFC careers, The lone loss before the Shevchenko fight for Santos is to Mara Borrelia, who has not had the most impressive UFC run as of late. She's dropped fights to Montana De La Rosa, Courtney Casey, not necessarily girls that are at the top of that division. I am okay with passing that fight off as kind of a fluke for Taila Santos, because I do think she would beat Borrelia now if they fought again. However, if we compare this to Blanchfield's journey through the UFC, she's been untouchable. She has absolutely dominated her way through all of her fights in the UFC, on a 5-fight win streak in the UFC and 8 fights overall. And that is so, so impressive to see how untouchable she has looked. There haven't been close fights for her in the UFC at all. And I do think there's something to be said about that. She has a phenomenal mentality. She sets up her game plan so beautifully. She doesn't waver from that. She's very mentally tough. She's very confident in her skill set, which I love. And I believe that Santos shares a lot of those same characteristics. She is also a very confident, very skilled fighter. But I do think that Blanchfield has the edge when it comes to fight IQ and knowing where she wants to go and knowing exactly how to set that up. We saw Santos on the back of Shevchenko doing a phenomenal job controlling, but she wasn't doing much damage. She wasn't doing anything that would eventually set up those chokes more easily for her. Erin Blanchfield does that so well. And if this is a close fight with close grappling exchanges, I can see Blanchfield's better use of ground and pound edging that fight out for her. I will say as well, Taila Santos, her visa troubles, her very long layoff does worry me a little bit. Blanchfield has obviously been the more active and the more relevant fighter over the last year, while Taila Santos has been out. It's been over a year since her fight with Shevchenko. This is a super close fight against two very skilled fighters, but my gut is leaning Blanchfield here, guys. Erin Blanchfield is the future of the division. I think if this fight happened 2 years from now, I think it wouldn't even be close. Santos absolutely has the ability to win this fight here. She has great striking. She has power. She has fantastic grappling, and she is incredibly strong for the division. But I think that Blanchfield is going to have the better technique. I think she's going to have a better game plan, and I think she's going to have better fight IQ. And I think if either girl ends up in a worse position during the fight, I think Blanchfield will be able to make better adjustments throughout the fight than Taila Santos does. As for the over-under in this fight, guys, I have absolutely no idea. As far as I'm concerned, both fighters have the ability to finish this fight. Taila Santos has a lot more decisions on her record than Erin Blanchfield does. If it ends by sub, I would probably assume that that's going to be Erin Blanchfield. If it ends by decision, it could go to either fighter. So, guys, this is going to be such an amazing fight. Make sure you tune in for this. I'm super freaking excited. I'm just so stoked. Very excited to see both of these ladies and their futures in the division. But here, I'm leaning Erin Blanchfield. I think she gets it done this weekend. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.